besides the opportunities that you're exercising, you don't see nowhere else to go.
What's
You don't know that you don't know that there's something to be attained in life other than what you know. And the way Savannah has their system pretty much set up, you go through school, you mess up a few times in school, you only got one alternative school you can go to. You don't go there and do right, no GED, no equivalent, no nothing. Okay, so what do you do then when you can't even ride the dump truck, you're the trash truck? I mean, you can't even do that. You can't do the minimum of any jobs.
Well, it's not just
without
in Savannah. If you look at the world today, black men, period, black people, unemployment is almost 16% for us.
Well, you know, Savannah has their system down to absolute science, though.
And
Let me make sure I say that.
On the news yesterday that unemployment in Georgia, there is no unemployment. They said they ran out of money.
Oh, okay, unemployment insurance.
Yeah,
okay,
unemployment.
Yeah.
I'm just saying ran out of money. All right, sorry. Don't mean to get away from the story. Go ahead. You were still talking. But still, you're saying that in Savannah, if you're a black man and if you have been to jail, that there's nothing you can do?
We the biggest number. You don't necessarily have to be a black man. You could be any minority. You can be a low-income white boy, white guy. I mean, it really doesn't matter. We all get treated the same pretty much unless you live on the other side of the echelon. Period. It's the same thing. You know, but in a nutshell, what it all comes down to is it's a cycle there. It's a system there. And just like he said, the prison system, I mean, they get paid for each one of those beds they put somebody in.
Yeah.
I mean, the prison system across this country they make billions a year in income down from doing everything to fish farming, making saddles, making motorcycles. I mean, these wardens are cleaning up at these prisons and the systems that run them on our expense. But at the same time, it's a two-edged sword because you have to understand that the inmate has a way he looks at that too. He has a way to look at it, well, I'm learning a trade, and if I do get out of here, or when I do get out of here, I'll be able to be put back more into this, I'll be able to be a regular, productive human being again.
That's not happening.
On some level it is, but a very small. It's not happening on the level they're making a profit, no.
All
but
right.
it's happening on a small level.
So Gerald, if he's saying that there's nowhere, I mean, they're building jails for us. As far as education, what is it that we can do different? For the children that are watching this show, for the mothers that are in the audience with sons, what can we do? What can we do for our children so this doesn't keep happening to us?
We need to pick better role models. We need to have more involvement of African American males as role models, not just the athletes and entertainers, but real professionals that can show these young men, listen, this is the proper way to do things. And then for the individuals he's talking about, the first-time offenders, we need, especially in Georgia, to make it easier to expunge records for nonviolent offenders, drug offenders who have 1 or 2 criminal convictions, so we can wipe that clean so they can go get their GEDs, go get their college degrees, and go and get a productive job instead of going back into the cycle. Because once you go to get a job, once you go to get a job and you got a drug offense or a nonviolent offense on your record, they're going to see that. And it's no way to get it off. And that's the main problem. It's a systemic cycle that once you get picked up one time, you're a criminal for life.
That's pretty much it. I mean, they give you an X on your record. You can't get a job to pay the fines they got out there for you to pay. It's a cycle. What do? You go, you get a job with such, you get a job, and that job still doesn't pay you enough to pay what they're fining you a month. So you go right back in. It's a continuous cycle. It's a system that's in place.
But like I keep saying over and over and over again, why don't we see what's going on?
Because
that's what's bothering me. I mean, we talk about it. You look at the news. I mean, black men aren't the only ones doing the crime, but they're the only ones doing the time. So if we know that, why aren't, like Oprah says, if you know better, then you do better.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think because we know, but we're still not educating our youth. We're not educating them that, yes, if I wear my pants hanging off my butt, I'm likely to get stopped.
Yeah.
Once I get stopped, my rights can be violated up, down, and sideways based upon profiling. And as much as people want to say profiling does not occur,
it does.
Well, why on the south side, there are 15 police precincts, on the north side, there are only 2?
Yeah.
How come when I go to court, I see 155 African-American males in a county where it's only about 10% black? We need to understand those, and then once we understand and we're empowered with our rights, 1, I don't have to talk to the police officer. I can walk away. 2, I can cut on my cell phone camera and start recording so that when my rights are being violated, everybody can see it.
So you're saying with your cell phone, turn it on.
Turn it on.
All right. Y'all hear that? Turn it on. Okay.
well, let's be, and this is a true statement. Me and him both sitting here. We dress different. We look different. but we both fit a profile.
Yeah,
I
'cause you're
mean,
both
as a black man, you can have a haircut, you can have a bald head, you can have dreads, you can have pretty much anything. You fit the profile. It's really that simple. And to be real, yes, we have to start in our neighborhoods with our kids and with our role models. But to be real, kids do what they see you do.
Yeah,
Okay? Kids don't do what they tell you. So if they see these lawyers and judges on TV and these state representatives getting out of hand and saying what they want to, well, what are they to assume from that? That's one of the highest points of power in our country.
Yeah.
That's how these people acting. So the bad example is actually being set right now more by the judicial system of this country and the government.
With Barack Obama in office, the total disrespect that he's getting every day. And you're right, our children are watching the news and they're seeing this. But once again, it's our fault, okay? Yeah. It's our fault because, like I said, when Obama took office, what did he say? He said, I need your help. And what have we done? We sit there, we watch stuff being thrown at him. We've seen him being disrespected every single day. And what do? All we do is we sit around and we talk about it. We need to stop. And that's the one thing about the Tea Party that I respect. Them folks look stupid as hell to me. Excuse my French. But they're out there fighting they're out there fighting. But what are we doing?
And you got a great point. Even in this city, you got Occupy Atlanta. They're sitting downtown in the park. How come we don't have Obama supporters sitting in the park saying he ended the war? He got rid of bin Laden.
That's right.
He bailed out the banks.
Gaddafi is dead, okay?
All these things, but nobody's bringing that up. They're bringing up, oh, the economy is worse. Well, again, that wasn't his fault.
No.
He's trying to fix this.
That's right.
And when there's a jobs bill that's not being pushed forward, nobody's saying anything about that.
Yeah. All right, I'm sorry. Back to Troy. I know you have so much to say.
No,
Before the cameras was rolling.
I appreciate everything we're talking about, though, because it all goes together.
But still, this is your cousin. This is Troy Davis' story today. So you.
But you know, in a nutshell, like we said earlier, the same people from the very beginning to the end were pretty much involved, and they continued to pull all the strings and everything they had to do. I had a lot of people. Sometimes I see people talking about, well, he went to court and he had all these chances. No, let me explain this to you.
How come we never saw him? But wait a minute. How come we never saw Troy Davis tell his side of the story?
Because Georgia has a law that death row inmates cannot be interviewed any shape, fashion, or form. So once they got past that, we're sentencing you now and you're this now, you'll never get to tell your story. See, that's what people really don't realize is every little bit that went into this helped.
Amanda Knox, all I saw her doing was talking, okay? All I saw her doing was talking, but you're saying that he didn't get a chance to say nothing?
No, because Georgia still has these old laws on the books. I mean, you know, it's not illegal in Georgia to kill a person without evidence. They can just really kill you and not give any reason whatsoever.
They had no DNA. They had nothing on Troy, but they killed him. Mm-hmm. And I guess what I don't understand is that we should be out there, like you just said, marching. We should be screaming. I mean, I have cried so many times. You know, right now I could break down. I'm trying to hold it. I mean, I've had tears in my eyes just sitting here talking about this because it's like, I mean, I'm 50 years old. When are things going to get better for us?
It's not going to change until we have to get the people that's in power out of office. We can march and scream and yell all day. If you don't start tearing down the problem from the top, you're not going to never come to a solution. And my point in saying that is you had the former district attorney of Savannah, Spencer Lawton, who this all started with. And I don't mind saying his name because none of them don't worry me.
Say it again, Spencer Lawton.
None of them worries me.
Okay.
So, you know, who this all started with, and in a nutshell, he did everything he can to paste Troy face to this and push it out there.
But he needs to do this. What did he get for this?
See, it's not what did he get. He had did so many illegal things in this case and other cases that he was forced to retire. Okay. You see, he didn't take the grand ride down the street and retire, you know, like he had a great reign. No, he had to get out of office, or he would be brought up on charges for all the misconduct he has took place in. This man went as far as developing a relationship with a lady that was across the street at the hotel the night of the shooting. On the other side of the hotel, absolutely not saw nothing, trying to formulate her into an eyewitness. Him and this lady was changing mail back and forth to his house. I have no problem saying anything about any of these people because anything I say is fact or public record or either a court document that I'd be happy to show anybody at any time because I'm up on what we're doing.
Good.
So, you know, it all started there. Then he was forced to get out of office. Okay, it really doesn't matter that he was forced to just go sit off the stage right now, because I know everybody who's still on stage, and I'm still gonna pull these same strings. What people don't realize, why he had to ride that out to the very beginning. This man who had made a statement in over 20-something years, he's free to make statements now because he feels safe. See, he can't be tried. That case can't be open now. Okay, so this is what happened. It would have been a lot of heads rolled if Troy case was open, and they know this. So that's why they continue to fight. And understand, they put someone in every area to make a problem they could for Troy, his family, and anybody who was trying to help him. Down to the warden at the prison now, for about the last year or so. He's a former Savannah police officer, not partners with McPhail, Officer McPhail, but on the same police force with him.
Oh my God. So Troy Davis, the last years, the last months of his life was with the warden, who was a friend of the dead officer that they said he killed.
Who was an officer on the same force.
Oh
Don't know
my
their
God.
relationship to each other, but he's a retired officer from Savannah, 22 years. How long has this been going on? 22 years. I mean,
Oh
do the
my
math.
God.
It's very simple.
And no one even talked about this on the news.
And they're not going to talk about it because these are all moves being made at lunch or doing tea or under the table or secret phone calls, because that's the kind of system that exists in Savannah. We can get around you. We can beat you. That's the system that exists there.
They did, but
the
it's
7
not,
witnesses that recanted.
Yeah.
Okay, what you first have to understand is there's no way if we were 3 witnesses, we would have the same statement verbatim, word for word. It's impossible.
There's no such thing that everybody's going to say the same
It's
thing.
impossible. And you know, and
So you're
once
saying that every single witness had the same
exact
story.
same statement, word for word, and the sad thing about it is one of us can't read or write. So how do we get a statement more or less to either copy your statement or write a statement?
Oh my God.
Okay, this is what really been going on, and the media will slant these facts so you can't know. But this is the real case that was going on. If Troy case was reopened, too many of their heads hit the road. They were going to prison. Spencer Lord and all his little dude buddies, they were going to prison. This is why an appeal was never granted at any time. You had Judge Moore put it in his little judge write-up he do at the end. If anything, the DNA testing they did excluded Troy as a suspect. There were never any bloody shorts at any time. There was never any gun at any time. There was never a strand of evidence at any time against Troy. Period.
Oh my God.
None. Period. You know, but this country again has a law. But we can kill you even if we don't have nothing against you, because it's not on our books.
All right, now, when I think about Amnesty, I know that they were working very close with you and with Troy. Most of the people that I saw fighting for Troy were white people.
Yep, and that's another slant the media put on it. They'll have you think that it's a black or white issue when there probably was, you know, just at a wild guess, 7 to 10 times more white supporters and other minorities. Big number of minorities and whites from other countries and here.
And another thing that you told me the other night that really amazed me is that toward the end, you said there was cameras in his prison cell?
Well, there's cameras all over the prison system. You can't go in there anywhere without being taped. But what we were talking about, what happened was that there were several times Troy was put in solitude, isolation, if you will.
For what?
Okay. Well, one time is he got put in isolation because of a work stoppage. Now, if you get in trouble doing a work stoppage, that means you're on the work, you know, nah. Troy didn't work. He didn't have no job in the prison. How do I put you in the hole for a work, you know, I don't have a work detail. So how do I put you in the hole for a work stoppage that you have nothing to do with?
So the warden had it out for him.
And as soon as he got there, he started implementing everything he could. Then the next thing he tried to pin on Troy was we found the cell phone. We found the cell phone. Okay, Troy's in a cell. Okay, and there's an empty cell next to him. Okay, there's a camera right there recording every second from the front to the back. The cell is no bigger from front to back than the distance between me to you. Okay, they're recording everything right there, recording his every move, every day, every second, every hour of the day. But he put a cell phone in the next cell all the way in the back of it on the sink.
Oh my
So that's the
God.
next thing, you know, they tried to throw him in isolation for. But these problems, understand this, the former warden of that prison has spoke, you know, great things about Troy. Troy helped keep his prison peaceful. When there were problems, that's who they would go get, Troy. Because that's who he was. There's not a correctional officer out there. Of course, there are going to be some, but 90% of the corrections officers out there love Troy. They prayed for Troy, them and their families prayed for Troy. They did everything they could when we were there visiting to make our stays with him as comfortable as possible. But you know, they also work for somebody too.
That's what I don't understand. We never heard